Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines, where we are finally in the city of Cancun. I know it's been a long time, and there was actually a while there where I thought I had to rebuild this city, and I was like, you know what, I really don't want to do that. We already got episode 1 out. I feel good about it, and so now we are able to finally jump back in and continue on. I did have to make a few changes. I kind of jumped in and I really didn't like the whole mess that we had with our freeways. Kind of moved some things around. I decided to have these two roads kind of come up, and then I built freeway entrances for each direction on both. I didn't end up doing the connections going this way because I felt like it was just going to really help us to kind of split up that traffic. That's one of the things with Cities Skylines 1 is traffic is definitely an issue. And so I would like to reach 7,500 this episode. This is where we're going to get that, high density and where we can really start playing around with some fun builds and some fun buildings and stuff, especially as we expand out. I still do want to build a bridge going this way, and I think that this is going to be our primary tourism kind of downtown island. But I think that there's a lot of opportunity with industrial, like getting some really cool farmland in here. Like there's already a lot of really cool spaces on this map. All right, so the first thing we are going to do is focus on some low density, and we do need to play around with some of these road layouts. So what I'm going to do is go into the 2-unit roads. I'm going to grab this big suburban road, 2-lane worn, just because I really like the cracks that it has in there. And then I'm going to have this come out, and I want it to be straight. So we're going to have it snap right there, and then we're actually going to turn a little bit and then have it go straight again. And one of the things that's kind of funny, it doesn't snap straight past a certain point. And I think that's definitely one of the things with Cities Skylines 2 is the guidelines just work a little bit farther. This is something that we do have to do on this one, is kind of build this down, and then we'll grab that bulldoze tool, kind of go back a little bit, and then I want to grab that curve and actually have it curve into a 90-degree angle into this road. I just feel like that's going to be really important for us. So we'll trim that back, grab our road again, go back to the freeform tool, go right here. That's exactly what I was trying to do there. And the reason we're doing this is because it's just going to help us capture a really fun look with this residential neighborhood. And so for our couplet over here, I was kind of playing with a couple different ideas of what to do. I think the best outcome for us is to actually grab a 4-unit road, and we're going to slide down to this 4-lane avenue with grass. And then we're going to actually have this come right next to that road. So we're going to go straight, probably go right there, and then we'll begin to curve it. I'm going to grab that freeform tool, curve it this way. It would be nice to actually have it go parallel with that rail line. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. We'll go just like that. And then that way we can go back into our 2-unit one-way. I actually think that one potentially looks a little bit better. I'm tempted to even upgrade that. I like the wider concrete. I think that just looks a little bit better. And it does look like we have anarchy on. So I want to turn that off, grab, move it, just kind of shift this around so that we can get those trees to go back underneath. And of course, I'm in the marquee tool. And so then we will connect this side up as well. I really like the couplet that we put in here. I think this is really cool. I'm just going to go ahead and upgrade the rest of these one-ways real fast. And just a few seconds later, we are finished. And so now we will go back to that 4-unit road. We will go straight, and honestly, I don't think we're going to go into the whole bridge section yet, but the idea is that we're probably going to branch it across this way, and then we can do another low density build or something. We maybe even do like a golf course or something fun over there. So now let's go back into our 2-unit road, grab a this big suburbs road, 2-lane worn, and we just need to draw in a couple little neighborhoods now. So I want to bring this in, and then I'm going to actually turn it, and then we'll turn it towards the road, come up this way, maybe even go just a little bit farther. Go right there and then come back. And then the idea is we'll just have a few of these within this neighborhood, because this is just a general kind of design theology with a lot of these master plan communities or low density residential neighborhoods like this. So we'll bring this up, and then let's go ahead and bring that back. Fantastic. And then we will begin to connect these up. We do want to have outside connections to them as well. We really don't want to form any large cul-de-sacs with this. That could definitely be a problem. And you can see that we definitely have that node a little too close. What I'm going to do is jump into the network multi-tool and remove that node real fast, just because having those two nodes there can definitely cause a lot of problems for you. And just a few seconds later, we got a basic little layout on here. I think this is fun. So now we'll just do a couple little cul-de-sacs just to fill up the available space. Yeah, so we'll go all the way down and then potentially even have one come this way. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. This is, a pretty standard little residential neighborhood. I did end up leaving a little bit of space on this side for us to maybe do like a small shopping mall, especially since we have the shopping malls buildings, which I do think are kind of cool. So we'll grab this now. Let's go ahead and have this come across, cut that zoning, and then we can actually do a small road. Let's do maybe a 1-unit. Yeah, 1-unit road. Have it follow that. I think that would be good. Yeah, perfect. Have this come all the way back. Fantastic. And then that way, let's go ahead and drop in just a small bit of parking, potentially even using the mid-century modern lots. This could be good. I'm wondering if maybe we can plop these on the backside. This, you know what, this wasn't initially part of the plan, but I think that this could actually be good. So if we did 2 on either side, what we could do is grab a small 1-unit road and have this cut in. Then we can have it kind of turn and go all the way around. And then what I'm probably going to do is remove zoning around the outside. So if we go to our road, let's use the picker mod, grab our suburbanized road, turn off zoning, we can upgrade this, go like this. Let's go ahead and grab our 4-unit road as well. And we do need to be mindful of the zoning on the other side. Yeah, I think that may be just a little too small. You know, let's trim it back. I like the idea, but I think if we trim it back, it could be a little bit better. So if we go just like that, then we can have this road cut across. And then let's go ahead and bring zoning back. I feel like that could be important. Yeah, there we go. Nice. And then that way we can go into our zoning. Let's go ahead and plop this in. And then let's grab our district tool, go into a little micro district, come all the way across. Fantastic. And then that way we can grab this, go into styles, and actually go into shopping malls. And then we can hit play and kind of let that grow in. And I do want to kind of clean up this path a little bit. I think having those kind of torn concrete pieces in there is definitely not something we want to go for. Just want to bring this across, and it's clipping that road right there. So I think that's probably the best we're going to get. And then for this neighborhood, we kind of want to do the same thing. So I want to grab a district and we're going to go all the way around. And I'm thinking because of the overall appeal of this neighborhood, we'll probably end up doing the self-sufficient. I was having a little bit of an issue with some of the homes over here. I have a lot of assets installed. And so I ended up playing around with it. I did do the self-sufficient, but I also went into the district style and kind of played around with it. I had it clicked on the residential and then I kind of unclicked it. But then that way, I mean, the buildings just look a little bit more scattered and I think more realistic. So now that we have that, I think for this middle section, what we could do is either another residential neighborhood or we could just turn that into a park. Go ahead and let me know what you guys think, because I do want to get a mass transit line coming down. So I think we're going to be careful with a lot of this middle growth. I want to get an elevated metro. But I think for this other side, what we'll do is extend out our neighborhood. So we'll go back into our 2-unit suburbanized road, go into freeform. Let's go ahead and go out right here. But then that way, what we can do is actually go like this, go back to our freeform tool. And I want it to kind of follow the trees a little bit. So if we go just like that, now we can come back this way and hopefully end at about a 90. And then that way we can just have this terminate straight. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but you know, we're going to leave it like that for right now. And then I do want to do some pathways around the outside just to kind of make it, turn it into a little green belt. A lot of times green belts can really make a big difference for these master plan communities. That's one of the things that they kind of market it as, is some places you can kind of walk your dogs and stuff like that. It's a little bit safer. And it looks like it got clipped by the road a little bit. It's just the road assets that I'm using. They have this grass kind of ruined texture right next to it instead of having a sidewalk. So we kind of want to go like that. Yeah, I think that looks good, especially once we get some trees in there. That's going to end up looking really good. So let's go ahead and extend out our district to cover this, and then we can kind of zone this in. I think this space right here could be good for a schooling area. And so we want to basically just zone in all the middle sections, because residential is pretty important for us. And then let's drop in a small park. That one's a little too big. Yeah, I think this one's good. Let's go ahead and turn off anarchy just so we can make sure we're not hitting the edge right there. And then let's come down here. I want to do the dog park. Yeah, we'll do a dog park in here. And then let's go ahead and do a small park over here as well. Already looking pretty good. And then I'm just going to zone all this in real fast. All right, so we got some buildings coming in. We can go ahead and up that speed just a little bit, maybe even go to 3 speed. Let's go ahead and move on to these other sections. So we definitely need to get some more residential in here. I'm wondering, so our schooling is definitely going to need, that's healthcare. We need to go into schooling. So we're definitely going to want to get a little elementary area in here. So I'm going to go into roads. Let's grab a small 1-unit road. We want to create a little bit of an entrance for this so that we can do like maybe a parking lot of some kind, something along those lines, probably a parking lot, because especially with schooling areas, a lot of times you need like staging areas for buses or something like that. And so now we will grab that. Let's go ahead and place this right here. Let's go right there. Yeah, perfect. And then I think I'm just going to grab the move it mod and shift that over just a little bit. And then I'm going to hit that page up button so we can get it above ground on that section. Maybe it's not above, maybe it's just the dirt. And then let's go ahead and grab a small park. We'll do I want to do the small playground. Yeah, small playground. Go right there. Fantastic. And then let's go ahead and search up some parking. And I want to actually utilize a parking lot this time. It would be good to do some of the filler roads. I just don't know if it's going to be big enough. Like drawing out our own parking lot here, especially a lot of times those parking lots don't really work. So if we just search up parking lot, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for us. Yeah, here you go. And so we want to jump out of this view so that we can see a little bit easier. And I actually, you know what? I think this is going to work out perfect. It's exactly what we were going for. We did kind of clip the road over here a little bit. I'm thinking though what we can do, probably just shift this up a little bit and then potentially even go into like a surface painter or something. The green does clip on this one side, but you know what? We're going to go ahead and leave it. It's because of the road. We might even actually, you know what? Let's actually just upgrade it to a regular road because then it's just going to help it to look a little bit better. So if we upgrade it to this 2-lane with a median, yeah, you know what? That just looks a little bit better. And then we can go back into the surface tool and kind of remove it on that one side. I like the overall peel. I think it really helps us to capture kind of that elementary vibe. A lot of times elementary schools don't have this much parking, but I think once we get some trees and stuff in there, it's really going to kind of help capture a really cool look. I like this little shopping mall we got in here as well. All we really need to do is jump into our trees. Let's go ahead and just place a couple of these trees down just to kind of bring it all together. So I'm going to use this generic pine tree. I'm just going to plop them around a little bit. We don't need to get too crazy with it. We just want to create some really fun areas where people can kind of hang out, you know, maybe enjoy the shade or read a book or something. I'm going to do a couple of these flower bushes underneath. Let's go ahead and use some bushes as well. And just a few seconds later, we got that finished. And so now for this back section, I kind of want to connect this up just to make it look a little bit better. So I think what I'm going to do is just do a small pathway like right on the road. And so we will turn off snapping. We want it to be literally right here. I could also go into Surface Painter, but I think in order to get it perfect, using the pathway just makes it a little bit better. But I don't know. I haven't played this game in a while, so I could definitely be way off track for this. But I think that looks pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of it being on the backside. I think we'll probably end up doing like maybe some like a fence or something around it. But I think that this is something that you do tend to see in neighborhoods like that. And so let's go ahead and do an extension of some more residential. I don't think we're going to be as elaborate as this neighborhood. I also want to just have some regular, you know, non-master planned kind of residential in there. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to use the picker mod and grab our 1 unit small lane road. And let's go ahead and just kind of draw this in here and have it go straight. And then let's have it turn and then have it go straight. And then that way we can have a couple little cul-de-sacs come off. All right, so we got a little bit of zoning in. Now I'm just going to come in here and kind of fill this in. I think we'll end up using some of the zoning off the side of the road for some commercial. Having some commercial next to your housing isn't necessarily the worst, especially if you just do like a small little section like that. I do want to keep the gaps in here for a lot of this though, because once we get some trees and stuff, it's just going to help it look kind of cooler. So if we go like this, and then now we can do, you know, let's do a small little bit of commercial on this backside too. And we'll go just like that. Let's go ahead and remove that. Now those should start growing in. We do need to, oh, it looks like trash has actually become a problem. So our landfill is full. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pause real quick because this is going to snowball if we don't take care of this. And of course I had zoning off, so I need to turn that back on and upgrade this again. Go like that. Fantastic. And then let's go into our trash. I do want to do probably 2 recycle centers. These are kind of pricey. I mean, $240 a week, that's actually not too bad. We'll be okay. So let's go ahead and place 2 of them. We have enough money and we're generating some pretty good money. So I don't think it's going to be the end of the world for us to place that there. I would like to get another landfill though, especially, and we really didn't do a lot of trees over here. Definitely, we need to get some trees over here. This just looks very, very open and exposed. All right, just a few seconds later, I got some trees in. This definitely looks a lot better. I ended up doing like some clusters in here, and then I did some foliage underneath with some little flower bushes and stuff just to kind of show some overgrowth maybe peeking out. I think the overall look looks really good, and I like that we got our 2 recycle centers. I'm hoping that that's going to really solve a lot of the problems. Let's kind of watch a lot of these trucks as they come out, because I think this is going to really, I mean, this really isn't, having this turn here is not the greatest. And there we go. So they started sending them out. I think that looks pretty good. We definitely are going to have a little bit of an issue with our electrical as well. So I think what we're going to do, let's go ahead. Did I zone all these in? I did. So while these are growing in and before we really start doing any trees and stuff, let's go ahead and move over here, kind of wrapping around, because I was hoping to make an extension of our industrial area. I think it's just going to look really cool if we can get just a few little buildings over here. We don't need to get too crazy with it, but I do Want to look cool. So if we come this way, let's go ahead. I think we're on the ground. We're not. So we definitely want to bring that back. Want to go like this. Let's go ahead and go up a little bit, and then we will begin to turn it this way. And then let's go ahead and have this extend out from right here and connect up. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Does it look perfect? No, but you know, once we start building everything in, it's going to actually kind of bring it all together. So now let's grab a small road. We could even use an industrialized road. Not a huge fan of using the industrial roads all the time, but you know what? In some settings, they actually do look good, and the overall cost, I believe, is a little bit lower. Let's check out that road. I haven't used this road in a while. You know what? I think this would actually be kind of weird. So if you're doing like a big industrial area, then I think that those roads would look good, but I actually would think that like if you're just renting an industrial lot or something, you would want regular buildings, regular roads. So we're going to go ahead and go like this, and then let's bring this up, and then I'm going to curve this. Let's go like that. Fantastic. And then that way we can bring this back. Nice. Have this one go all the way in, and we want it to go straight. We really got to be careful of traffic. You really got to worry about it in this game a lot more than in Cities Skylines 2. So we're going to go ahead and just place a little bit, and then let's do a small, kind of a larger commercialized area right there. And then let's see about getting in another power plant. I was looking at the advanced coal power plant. I think that would probably be good. We do have a lot of custom assets as well, but I think for right now, this is probably going to be good. So if we place that just like that, yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty good, especially once we get some trees and stuff in here, it's just going to help clean it up a little bit. And so now let's go ahead and move on to our agricultural area. We definitely need it to generate money, though we're doing pretty good on revenue right now, but the cheat for money in this game is your industrialized areas. So now we're going to bring this over, and then let's go ahead and connect this up. Let's have this come all the way across, and then let's go ahead and bring it down now. And it looks like I, for some reason, kept that an elevated piece. There we go. And then let's go ahead and fix this. I'm going to grab the Move It mod. I'm going to shift over here, grab that node, go just like that. Fantastic. That just looks a little bit better. And it actually looks like this one's a little bit too high too. Let's grab that and just bring it down. There we go. Nice. And so now what we want to do, you know, industrial in this game is definitely not as robust as in Cities Skylines 2, but you can still make it look really good. And so what I want to do is grab a rural road, and then let's go ahead. And of course, it kind of twisted the node on that back end, so we need to retry that. Go just like that. And then let's go into our garbage and industry tab, go all the way over to farming and industry. And I actually kind of got ahead of myself. We need to create the industry zone first. So we need to go into our districts and areas tool, grab our paint industry area. And we don't have a ton of farming over here, but it's at least some. So we'll be able to bring this back, and you can kind of see we have oil over here as well, which we could just start plopping down an oil industry, but I wanted to get some farming in here. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and place this right there, and let's check that out. What is that? How did I place a recycle center? So let's get out of there. Let's retry that. So we want to, so right here, main farm building. So let's grab our road, have it come in, go just like that, go back to our garbage and areas, garbage and industry tab, grab our main farm building, and we have a ton of unlocks. And we actually do have some custom assets for some of the areas, and so we may still be able to make this look pretty cool. Let's go ahead and check out some of these bigger fields. So this one, yeah, you know what? I actually really like these ones. I remember these ones. So if we place that like right there, let's go ahead and have this road come out a little bit and have it maybe come up right there. Use the picker mod, grab our field. Let's put it right next to that one. Even put it on top a little bit. We can grab the Move It mod and just kind of shift it over. I don't really want a lot of that overlap. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks cool already. And then I believe we can change the crop too. Yeah, so we have wheat young, XL, and then we have cotton. Let's go ahead and do wheat young for all of them. We could even do a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely have to play around with this, because I think if we go to the standard ones, it just doesn't look as good. Like we could do the animal pastures, which I think are normally good. So if we go like one, oh, we need more money. All right, so let's play. Let's let this work out. We definitely need to get some warehouses in. So let's go back into our garbage and industries tab. We need to find our silos. I don't know where they are. Warehousing. Oh, we don't have enough money. How much is it? 6,000. We're going to be at 6,000 here soon. We just really need one of these, and these generate a lot of traffic, and so you do need to be careful. Let's go ahead and let this run for a second. All right, so I let the game run for just a few seconds and we are up to 15,000, which is fantastic. So now we can go back into our garbage and industry, grab our little silo. And what I want to do is put this right on the main road. I think it looks a little bit better next to the house too. And then let's go ahead and jump back into our dirt road. I want to have this dirt road kind of go behind our pasture here. I would like to get at least 1 or 2 more pastures as well. So if we bring this over here, so 7,500, I think we're just gonna have to wait a little bit longer to get that one in. But what I'm thinking is we will have this turn. So we'll go into freeform tool, go just like this. Let's go ahead and of course that node messed up. Have this go straight and then have it curve in. Fantastic. One of the cool things that you can do, especially since we have access to so many different trees, is we can actually just use the find it mod and go to like apple tree, and there we go. So we have apple trees, and then we can go into our line tool, and I think I want to increase the spacing just a little bit. I'm gonna go, yeah, you know what, that looks a little bit better. But one of the cool things is with that we can kind of draw in our own little fields and fill in those empty spaces. But look at that, we've already hit busy town, reach a population of 4,800. Congratulations, thank you game. And we've unlocked lots. We got the city planning policies, we got some unique buildings, we got sightseeing bus tours, trolley buses, which we don't have any mass transit yet, bunch of policies, which I do really like, the encourage biking and a lot of these other ones like the boost connections. I like the book fairs, especially if you do a lot of libraries and stuff. We've unlocked a lot of roads, but sadly we haven't unlocked, I don't think we've unlocked any districts. We've gotten quite a few buildings, like we got the police station now and the fire station, which we, I think we do. Did we have that already? I don't think we did. No, we didn't. So we definitely got to place down a police station and a fire station, and it looks like we're having poop problems. So let's take a little detour. Let's come over here and let's check out our water, because it looks like we're having a little bit of an issue with our sewage. So let's do, we want to do the water treatment plant now. It's kind of funny. So one of the things I had kind of realized before was that the standard inland water treatment plant, because of the capacity changes, it really kind of doesn't make a huge difference for you to have. So you decrease your pollution to 45 and your noise pollution to 10, but you end up having to have 2 to make up for the loss from the capacity. And so having this building is just a little bit better. I do want to make an actual zone for this, so I think this just kind of looks weird, us kind of plopping that in there. And let's move this around. We want stuff below the ground. I wonder if we could even shift this over here, and that way we can kind of do some do a fence around it or something. But I think that looks a little bit better already. I'm not a huge fan of these electrical plants either. I think this coal one looks a lot better. Looks like it's solved a lot of our city's problems. We don't really have a lot of this residential coming in for some reason. Let's go ahead and bump up that speed just to kind of see, and then let's place down, let's make sure. So we do have a medical, we do have a fire station, we do have 1 police station, elementary, high school. We could do bus now that we've unlocked the bus station. We've got the compact bus station and we got the big one. So the compact one is 45,000. So we could place this down. You know, let's figure out our industrial first, and then we will, once we start generating a little bit more money, we'll be able to worry about that stuff. So let's go back to find it, go back to our apple tree, and just kind of finish this real quick. And just a few seconds later, we got our apple orchard in there, and I think that looks really cool. I like the overall appeal of that. I like that we got our pastures in here with our sheep. And so we definitely need to make a little bit more money. So I'm thinking that what we're going to want to do is extend out our road a little bit more, have it come this way. It does look like just a little sideways. Yeah, we want to go like that. And then that way we can place a couple more, because I don't think we're making a whole lot of money from that just yet. Let's go ahead and check though. So if we go into our economy tab, go into income from industrial and office zones, we can kind of see how much we're making. Yeah, so if we grab our main building, we can kind of see. So if we go into industry area tab, so we're producing animal products right now, and we don't have any warehouses for this, so we haven't started to make any money off of it. So let's go ahead and place down a warehouse. Let's go ahead and place that right there and just kind of check it out. Hey, you know what? I think this looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and move this over, and then let's select it, and we want to choose animal products, because in that way we can start exporting these goods. Once we can start refining the crops, then we can start exporting those as well. What we need to do is boost our production. So we need to go back down to our garbage and industry tab and build a few more fields. And we need to make sure that we're still above fertile land. We are. We can also extend this out as well. I do have the fertile land kind of brush. I think it would make sense for us to just have a little bit more fertile land. It being so light like this is a little bit frustrating. But overall, I think this is already looking pretty good. What I would like to do is get a second one in here, but I want to have it kind of backed up to each other. Maybe we'll just keep doing what we're doing. Let's go ahead and place down another one. And I'm using this XXL field. And then let's change this to wheat young. And then let's grab the movement mod and shift this over. It looks like I just made it a little bit too far to the right. This is already looking pretty good. And then what I want to do to just make this look a little bit more realistic, we are going to grab our boreal tree, and then I want to just do a line of it on one side. So if I grab that tree, grab our line, then we can go down to 3 spacing. This might be too low, but we'll see. But you know what? I think that looks pretty good. And what this does is it just puts a little bit of a windbreak for our fields. And this is something that you do tend to see. I think this is a little bit denser than what you would probably see in a real field, but I still like the idea, and I think that it makes it just look a little bit more realistic. And then what we can do is come over here and kind of dress this up a little bit more as well. Yeah, there you go. A lot of times just small fixes like this can really make your build just look a lot more realistic. Yeah, I like that peel. That overall look. So we should start making money now that we have that warehouse. Let's go ahead and check it out. So it's still not recording any farming revenue, unfortunately, and it actually shows us losing money. So let's check this out and see what's going on. So we definitely have some animal products going in. I wonder if we are... So they are filling up. We do have it set on balance though, so I wonder if it's just going to take a little bit of time before we start making any money off of that. But our crops are getting pretty full. These should be generating some crops. I would imagine because of their size, they would give us a lot of crops, but maybe not. Go ahead and check out our residential. So these are looking pretty good. I like the overall peel. I think these buildings in here definitely don't look the greatest. I did go through and kind of play around with some of the district styles. Some of the assets I have are real specialized assets for like some of the bigger builds we did. But I think for this middle section, it would be nice for us to get like a little shopping center. I could imagine this being maybe our first stop on the line. So what we could do, I think we're going to do another one of those shopping mall zones. So we'll go into styles, go into shopping malls, go into save, and then just kind of fill this in. I do want to do a road on that backside. I don't think having that curve in the zoning is going to look that great. So if we bring this all the way back, go just like that. Yeah, I think this is going to look a little bit better. And then let's go ahead and do some right here as well. We do want to leave a space because we're going to need to get a station in here. And so I don't really want to build it up. All right, so now what we are going to do is come on over here. We need to build out some more residential just to boost up our population up still. So we're going to come up this way, and I want to kind of follow that same idea that I did for this side with the curve. Just think it looks really good, and it kind of provides us some cool detailing opportunities as well. If we bring this across now, go just like this, and then let's go ahead and extend this road out. I think we could actually kind of just curve it in. So if we go like this, let's go ahead and turn it now, and then come down this way, and then let's extend this road out. And just a few seconds later, I connected that up. Now we can come back here, finish this connection, fantastic, and then I can continue on with our 1 unit road. Perfect. Then we can come up this way. Just a few seconds later, we are finished. And so now we will give this some outside connections. We don't really want to create a big cul-de-sac. I would prefer that to be at a 90. And I think that's going to be about as good as we can get. Let's go ahead and come from the other direction. And I think this could actually look pretty good. So now if we come into our residential, let's go ahead and remove zoning off of this road. Really don't want to have zoning on our couplet just because it's going to really inhibit the traffic. I think if we do get some, we may get some commercial, but for right now, it would be better if we just kept it clear. Then that way we can come in here. I think we'll actually extend out our zone as well. Yeah, let's extend this out, come all the way down, and we'll have to check out our education, just make sure that we are still pretty well covered. I think by adding in that one elementary, we should be good, but you never know. It's always good to be safe. And we'll get a couple small parks in here as well. So if we go to the Parks and Plazas tab, let's grab a small park. Yeah, we'll do small park. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then that way we can hit play and just let this unfold. Let's go ahead and check out our education. And so our elementary is already getting pretty full again. I'm thinking we'll want to put another one right here, and we could actually do a bigger education system as well. Go ahead and grab that big suburban road and then have this cut across and then go into our education tab. And I do want zoning on that road. Upgrade that. Fantastic. Go just like this. And then let's go ahead and put the small playground next to it. I really like putting the small playground next to the elementaries. I just think it's like a nice touch, especially since the playground that comes with it is so small. I think it just looks a little bit better if you can get something bigger in there. So now I'll use the picker mod, grab our road, come this way, fantastic. And then go into find it, search up a small parking lot, and then I think we'll end up doing some sports assets over here. I think that would be fun. Kind of turn this into a whole park area. Could even do that. You know what? I think we're going to do this road. I like having these little parking spaces on the road. And voila, just a few seconds later, we got that in. I think this is actually perfect. I like having the little parking lots on the side. It is kind of weird for them to be driving through it as well because it is a road, but I think I like the overall appeal. And it kind of leaves some room for us to be able to do something fun over here. So now we can go into that Parks and Plazas tab. And let's find, I would really like to get some sort of sports in here. I think the sports parks, maybe it's in other parks. Yeah, so we want to get some of these tennis courts. And I would prefer to get the actual one. So I wonder, let's place that like that. And then just kind of check it out. You know what, I think that looks pretty good. I like that it actually fills in the whole space. Yeah, I think that looks fantastic. And then I think on this side, we will work with something else. Let's go ahead and check that out. Yeah, you know what? That actually looks pretty good. So we can place that like that. Let's go ahead and go. We're just going to turn this into like a little tennis area. And then let's grab our path just to kind of connect these up. And then what we'll do is we'll come back through and put in some benches and stuff and just make it look a little bit better. So it really doesn't take a lot to make something like this just look a little bit better. So if you turn on anarchy, you can come in here and just kind of splatter some more trees. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I like the overall appeal of that. I think having it next to an elementary is kind of interesting. It would be nice if this was a high school. I just don't know if we need a high school as much. Maybe, you know what? I wonder if we move this and then that way we can come in here and do the high school. Because I think the high school is going to be a little bit of a better fit for this. Yeah, there you go. And then we can even do the gymnasium next to that as well. And there we go. I completely forgot that the gymnasium was in the healthcare tab. I was like, man, where is this? So let's go ahead and place that right there. And I think that looks great. I really like the overall appeal, especially now what we can do is just kind of dot a couple trees around it, clean it up, make it look a little bit better. I really like the gymnasium a lot. I remember before I used to place that a lot too. But I like that we got this parking in here, and I like that we got the elementary across the street as well. I think that was smart. So we can grab that move it mod, kind of shift it over, do a pathway going across. So we got some residential coming in. It does look like we are having trash problems again. So let's come over here and let's just check out what we got going on. So I'm going to move that over. Let's delete this. And I think what we need to do is at least add in one more landfill. I feel like the landfill is going to be a big problem for us because I just don't know if the recycle centers are going to be able to keep up with this. Yeah, so our processing is pretty low. We're definitely going to want to get, because we don't have a lot of money either. We need to expand out our industry more. So let's go back to our industry area and see where we're at. Did we reach level 2 yet? So we're actually at level 2. We're almost there. So it looks like we only need one more worker. No, so we have the workers, we have the production resources. We should have everything to reach the next level. So let's go ahead and do a couple more fields. And there you go. Congratulations. So now we've got the flour mill, the bakery, the farm workers barracks, the cattle shed, the small barn, and the industry farmhouses, which I think is an asset that I had. So then we will do greenhouse. I really like the greenhouses because they actually are they look really good as supplemental buildings. So like if we come in here now and just bring these to the other side, I'll probably bring 2 of them and then leave 1 on that side. Because it just kind of helps it to look a little bit more realistic. So let's check out this flour mill and see what we're working with. So it's 15,000. We need to let the game run for a little bit. We're not generating a ton of revenue just yet. And we need to figure out this whole trash thing. Like we may need to do another recycle center of some kind or something. Looks like this area over here is just not getting their trash picked up. But I'm going to let it run. We're going to save up some money and then we'll come back and finish out the industry area. All right, so just a few moments later, we now have 110,000, which is fantastic. And so now we will go into our garbage and industry tab again. And we want to go over to farming. So we need to get a couple more fields in here, but we also need to get some flower buildings, and we just need to extend it out. I really want to bring this all together and make it look really cool. So we're going to go back into our rural road. We will extend this out, and we need to change those fields so that they still kind of match those other ones. And then I think we're going to actually build another one of those warehouses too to kind of fill in this space. I just think that's going to look a little bit better. Then we'll go into garbage and industries. Let's grab our field, go just like that. Fantastic. And I think that actually looks really good. I'm potentially even just going to keep that like that. Yeah, there you go. I like that. I think that looks good. And let's go ahead and check out our silo. So our silo is definitely full. We would want to get at least one flour mill in here. So let's go ahead and do a road this way. And I think we're going to have it branch down and connect up. The flour mills are going to generate more traffic, and so we just need to be careful. So then we will do probably 2 flour mills on here. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks pretty cool. And then we can slide these over just a little bit. And then I just want to dot in some trees around the outside. I think it just looks a little plain with it. Yeah, you know what? This already looks a lot better. We don't need to get crazy with it. Just kind of fill it in. We do still want to fill this in. Wondering if maybe we could just do some more of those trees. Maybe not some apple trees. So I'm just going to do some orange trees in here. I think it's just going to help it to look good. We'll do some rows all the way down. And just a few seconds later, I am done. I did end up doing these ones a little bit closer. I think during my detailing time lapse, I'll probably clean those up a bit. Let's go ahead and check out our overall performance now. We do need to get a flour warehouse as well. So let's go ahead and place that right now before we forget. I think I'm going to use that same warehouse. I like the appeal of that. Or we could even do one of these. I think this could be good. So if we place 2 of these, let's go ahead and let's check that out. Yeah, you know what? I think that looks good, especially right off the back side of that. Let's go ahead and do 1 for flour and then 1 for animal products. And then that way what we can do is just jump into our trees. Let's just do a couple. We don't need to get crazy with this. Just, you know, again, you just want to clean up those edges, make it look a little bit more realistic, because fields still are realistic. But having just, I don't know, those edges a lot of times, I think it just doesn't look as good. So let's go ahead and slide this over. Yeah, you know what? I like the overall appeal of this. I think this is looking really good. I think this is going to start making us some pretty good money too. So if we go into the economy tab, so we can see, I mean, we're not really generating a ton of funds yet, but I think here soon. So if we extend out a few more fields, then that way we can go back into our fields. We could even do some fruit and then turn this into a greenhouse. Fantastic. I like that a lot. I like having those on the front side. I think it looks really cool. And then let's finish out. So this industrial area definitely looks a little unfinished. We could just fill in the rest of this. I'm definitely a little concerned about the traffic. So this may be something that we come back to and we have to kind of play around with, because industrial areas in particular tend to generate a lot of traffic. And so you really got to be careful with them. But then same with this side. I think we should probably connect this up somehow. And then we could turn that into a roundabout if we wanted to. I don't think it's too bad right now though. So I think we're going to keep it like that. And then we could even turn this into like a small garbage area of some kind. I think that could be good. So if we go like that, and then let's go into our garbage and just see what we got. Because I know we definitely have some other buildings other than just the standard ones. Oh, we need 20,000 population in order to get the big one. But we could do these ones. I'm tempted to do a custom one. I just don't think we have really the resources for it at the moment. So you know what, we're just going to do 2 of these. So that already is going to provide some pretty good coverage for this other side. I think we're going to end up saving some space for us to be able to do something more custom in that area in the future. And I know we want to keep this avenue open for some sort of mass transit. What I'm thinking though, I'm wondering if we should get at least a small station in here. So if we put this off to the side, let's go like that. And then let's go ahead and do the biofuel bus depot. It is a little bit more, but I think it cuts back on overall pollution, which is good for your cities. We want to place this over here. Let's go ahead and turn off anarchy. Let's place it right there. It does delete a little bit of the buildings, but they'll be able to come back. And then that way we can do some bus stops. So we would want this to kind of come around and loop around a lot of our neighborhood. So let's go ahead. We want it to start right there. All right, so now what we want to do is actually have one go the opposite direction. So we're going to create another line, and then we're going to have it follow on the opposite side of the couplet. We want to try to mimic the stops as best we can. It's not going to be perfect, but we just want to provide some pretty good coverage for these people. And then now what we will do is just provide the stops on the opposite side. This is just a really easy way to provide some pretty good coverage, especially early on. And then let's jump into our bus tool and change the color of these just so that we can kind of differentiate them. And then let's go ahead and name them as well. So let's go one way. So this would be counterclockwise. Let's go main route, Old Town. counterclockwise. And I could do east or west. I'm not really sure what is actually east or west, but and there we go. So now we have our bus stop, which I actually think looks really good. I'm gonna leave a lot of it empty though, because we do want to get metro in here, and we don't unlock metro until we hit 7,500. But we've already done a lot, especially once we get some trees and stuff in here and really bring this together. This is gonna look fantastic. I do want to fill in this little space with another residential neighborhood, so we'll probably grab the picker mod. Let's go ahead and have this come all the way across, and then we will utilize that small 1-unit road again, just because I like the look of it. And then we'll go into the freeform tool. We'll have this go straight, have it go like this, and then we could turn this into another park area or like a commercial area of some kind, or we could just keep it residential. We definitely, we need residential. Our residential demand right now is pretty crazy. So I think what we're going to do is just raise this up to a couple little cul-de-sacs. Not a huge fan of this overall design and doing low density residential, but I just know that it's really prevalent in the real world. So now we're going to draw this all the way around. I'm going to remove zoning off of this road, just because we really don't want any of those residential houses on this road. I just don't think it's going to be good for us. All right, so I think this looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and jump into a detailing time lapse. I'm going to clean up a lot of these residential neighborhoods. We need to do trees and just kind of bring a lot of this together. And then I will catch you guys on the other side. Okay, so after quite some time, I am finished. And it's kind of funny. We ended up getting like a spurt of residential that grew in, and a lot of it just had to do with us not placing a police station or a medical clinic over here. So the second I placed those down, all of a sudden, the rest of the buildings just kind of grew in. We were having some issues with the police department, and so that's why I was like, oh man, our police coverage was just really bad over here. Our fire coverage is still pretty bad. We definitely need to get another one over here. That's what I was just kind of playing around with. I wanted to find a good location for it, but I mean, maybe even right here, because if we put it right on the corner, that could actually be good. And it's still kind of tucked away in the back to where it doesn't look as bad. You can hear all those houses upgrading now, which is awesome. And so let's go ahead and dive into some of the details I did. I ended up putting in a couple little orange groves in here to kind of tie in the neighborhood. This is something that you do see in areas where there's rich soil. I remember in Phoenix, there's a few neighborhoods that have these kind of orange groves going into the neighborhood, and I always thought it was like pretty cool. I ended up doing pathways with some of the young lindens, and then I did the pines going all the way around, kind of scattered trees going all the way through, just to make it look a little bit more realistic. I think whenever you have those kind of open grassy fields, a lot of times it just doesn't look as good. And then I did the same thing over here, kind of, built some more pathways. I had a pathway run adjacent to our road over here, but then I did some trees and some foliage to just, again, make it look a little bit more realistic, because you kind of see like these little patches in here. It just doesn't look as good. And so a lot of times if you can just go in and place a few little trees, it really makes a big difference. And so that's pretty much what I did. I went through and placed a lot of trees. You can kind of see we're having collision issues in some of these areas. I don't really want to mess around with too much, but I think we did a good job. I like that we got this little education compound with our tennis courts in here. We got the high school and gymnasium. I ended up expanding our farming area a little bit. You can kind of see we're having a little bit of a tree issue, but I added in a few barns, and then I ended up having to add in another crop barn over here because we were definitely having some issues with this. And it was kind of funny. One of the things that I remembered from these was whenever you're exporting stuff, you actually want to set them to empty, because if you set them to balanced, a lot of times it can just create a little bit of issues. And so we do want these to be set on empty so that we can make money from these. And this is how you can start boosting up your economy. So if we go into that economy tab now, we can click over here. And I mean, it's still showing negative 740 or negative 500. But if we come all the way down here to warehousing, we can see that we're making about $1,000 a week from the exportation of these goods, which is fantastic. And then over here, I took it a little bit further. I ended up doing dirt decals going all the way through. I really wanted to make it look a little bit more realistic. I did fences in some of the areas, added in some little container areas, and then I did some grass and just some like overgrowth to make it look like it's a little bit more unkept. And I think that way the industrial areas just tend to look a little bit more realistic. I think on the next episode, what we may do is kind of go through some of our main industrial area. I'm not really sure what this big building is. I'm going to guess that this is some sort of asset. Yeah, that's a pretty large building. I don't know if we would want that covering all those, but it actually kind of did look cool for a little bit. So maybe we'll actually go back and play around with a design like that. And so I think we did a good job over here. I like that we got the greenhouses in, and I like the two little barns too. I think it just makes it look, kind of brings it all together. And then I ended up adding in some decals through here to make it look like they're just little, like crop rows and stuff like that. I did also add in some details over here. I did some planters with some lights, and then I kind of moved some buildings around just to make it look a little bit better. I added in a couple little alleyways, and then I did a custom park over here with some pergolas. I added in some bushes going around a wall just because I wanted to have that separation from kind of the back of the buildings in here. A lot of times, I mean, you do need to have access to the back of these for like deliveries and stuff, and so they'll be there, but they try to hide it from you with walls and stuff like that. And then I added in one of our little mini parks in here with a little pathway. And then I added in a hedge over here, and I think this looks really cool. I like this whole little area. I think we definitely could have done more, and I'm a little bummed about this open area. But with us having potential plans to have an elevated metro come down, I really didn't want to encroach on that and then end up having to delete anything. I think once we do the metro, then we'll be able to come back through here and kind of do some walking paths and really bring it all together. And so go ahead and let me know what you guys think. I personally think it looks really good, and I'm excited about this city. I think there's a lot of potential. And so if you enjoyed this episode, you will definitely enjoy the episode on your screen. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.